Andreea Raicu, a multifaceted entrepreneur and mindfulness leader. From modeling and television to becoming a successful business owner, overcoming self-doubt, navigating perfectionism, and finding fulfillment beyond societal expectations. Join us as we explore Andrea's path to success. Hello, my dear Andreea. Thank you so much for taking time for me today.
Thank you so much for inviting me, Crina.
I have to say that besides that you are a very good friend that I really love a lot, starting of this interview was quite a challenge because I really know so much about you. So I really have to really see what can I find more. So that's one of my goals. And do you remember how we are normally starting the mornings together? Ta-da!
Oh, yes, my God. With the cards, with archangel cards, yes, with the angel cards.
I just want to let know all our listeners that they cannot see it, that we have some angel cards that when we were together, we were trying to grab one and see the message of the day for us.
Yes.
And when we are separate, somehow I feel all the time connected with you when I'm doing that because all the time...
Me do the same.
So should I grab one?
Yeah, maybe we need to see what's the intention. What is the message for us in this podcast?
I was thinking of that. So
let's see what the angels are telling us.
Are you doing this often? Are you really grabbing a card?
I am sometimes. Maybe lately not as much as before because I can really connect to myself now more, and my inner guide is telling me. Because normally I go to this kind of cards when I feel like I need something like guidance. Let's see what's going on there.
Abundance. It's time for your life to flow with prosperity, love, and success.
Great.
Cannot be a better one for us.
No, it's true.
So what is abundance tells to you, Andreea?
Before saying that, I want to share something. I wanted to share before the interview, but before the podcast. But I've been doing like thousands of interviews. I've been in like many podcasts, and it's so funny because this time I'm a little bit nervous. I was like,
me too. I have so many interviews. I have the same.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna meet Crina. I was like, she's my best friend. And then I was like, I feel a bit anxious.
Mm-hmm. It's funny that you mentioned that because I feel the same. I don't have so many interviews, but I interviewed so many people that I didn't know, like Stanford teachers, But this time, I don't know why, but I feel the idea of this discussion is to really have our chat conversation as we normally have on your sofa or on my sofa.
Exactly.
So I hope we are going there.
Yeah. If you are here, I would hug you so it could really release all the emotions and all the everything that makes us a little bit anxious.
I miss a lot our hugs, but I hope we can do it soon.
So going back to your question, what is abundance to me? Like many people when they talk about abundance, the first thing that comes into their head, it's related to money. But as success as well. Success means happiness and money. And I wasn't raised like that. So for me, abundance was never about money, but somehow being in a society where most of the people think about it like this, somehow you inherit it in a way, but I was always aware that it's not that. And for me, abundance is about having a flow and having a lot of what makes you happy. And it makes me happy. Love makes me happy. Connection makes me happy. Like success for me, success is to be able to live the life in my truth. Because it means like my life, it's really according to who I am and my values.
And what are your values?
One of the first values that actually is not a list, it's not first and second. one of the things that I've promised to myself when I had my journey in India that really changed my life was always look for my truth and live my life in that truth. Because there are many times when we lie ourselves saying that we need that, or you want that, or is that important. And we go for the things which are not ours, and we live a life that it's not ours. And then we end up being very frustrated, very upset, very anxious, and in the end, depressed. So one of my promises was look for the truth and live your life according to your truth. Another value very important for me is freedom of choice, freedom of living my life according to my truth. Connection is very important for me. I really need to be surrounded by people that I can have a real connection that is like, that make me, that allows me to be vulnerable and be seen exactly how I am. And I'm really grateful that right in this moment of my life, I'm surrounded by people that I can do this with. Because working in television for so long, of course, you go in a different kind of world where most of the connections are made through your identity. So I'm really happy and grateful, as I was saying, that I can have people that I can really connect on a really deeper level, that we can share what we feel, not what we do, not only what we do. We can really let ourselves be seen and heard and felt exactly how we are. Love, of course, because I'm sure we cannot live without love, and family and friends. And these are honesty, and these are some of the values that they're very important in my life.
You know, it's interesting because before our interview, I was like, how can I define Andreea for others? Because for me, Andreea is my friend. But how, how can I really tell about it? And I really see you as one of the most interesting, able to be vulnerable and self-exploring woman that I ever met. And of course, very good friend of mine. Who are you, Andreea?
Yeah. Exactly how I was saying, I'm mentioning again India because it had a really huge impact on me. And when I went to India, if somebody was asking me who I am, I would say, I'm a public person, a TV personality that has her own entertainment show, that lives there, has friends, travels a lot, has that car, does that, goes there, has this. Everything was very identified with the things that I was having and the things that I was doing. And when I went out of the ashram, if somebody would have asked me, like, who are you? I would say, like, a normal human being looking for the truth and promise and living her life to her truth. Because that disconnection, that not having this before India led me to depression, because I was not living my life according to my truth. It was such a big gap between what I was living and what was happening inside of me, and that took me there. So I think there are so many people living like this, and this is the reason why depression is one of the biggest problems right now in the world.
I know that we are kind of in the middle of the discussion, and maybe part of the listeners, they don't know exactly. You mentioned a few details. I did television, I went to India, so definitely I would love to go a little bit from the beginning. And it's so funny because, being both from the same country, you're really like a model for me when I grew in Romania. And I didn't realize when my sister told me, like, everything, when it was an article about Andreea, you were all the time buying it because you really admire her. It's like, really, I didn't notice that, but definitely you were already an inspiration for me even before I really had the honor to really meet you as a friend as well. How everything started for you? You mentioned the television. How did you enter in this industry? Let's start with the beginning.
I started modeling, something that I didn't choose. It chose me. I won an international modeling contest.
Elite model look.
Exactly. I win the national final, and then I went to the final, and I won a very important award, which was shocking for me because I never thought I'm beautiful, and I never thought my body's nice, good enough for that.
Really?
Yeah, I always thought I'm not beautiful. I'm not good enough because I was raised in this perfectionist that I have to reach all the time. That was coming from my mom, that she was always saying, like, you have to be perfect. You have everything that you do, it has to be without mistake, impeccable, and perfect. So my benchmarks were really, really high, and I was trying to be perfect. And everything that I had to do was had to be perfect. So that was one of the struggles that really took me to depression, because it's a pressure, such a big pressure that you put on yourself. So I started modeling. I won this contest, and it was amazing for me. I just couldn't believe that I won a contest, because I was comparing myself with like the supermodels that I was seeing in the magazine, and I never felt I'm even close to them. And then I started modeling. I did that for a while, and I got an offer to work in television. And I went to a casting. They asked me to go to a casting. I went there, and they liked me. And I started with a morning show, I think like 25 years ago. That's a long time.
I mean, you look like 25, so I don't know when you did it, but okay.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that's like a long, long time ago.
And long. Come on. You're not so old, Andreea.
I'm not. But it's like a long, I mean, 25 years ago.
25 years. Yeah.
And then I did this morning show, which was a live show, which was terrifying for me because I had no background on it. And my voice was terrible. My partner in the show just didn't like to have a co-presenter, co-host, though he was making my life a living hell. And I just didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. I mean, it was the most difficult show at that time that I had at that time, and I didn't like it. And then after a while, I started to host a show, a lifestyle show, fashion and lifestyle show, which was nice. It was more appropriate to me. I mean, more close to what I was doing. And then I changed the television station, and then I went to another one, and I did like the biggest show, entertainment shows, like Big Brother, talent shows, for I think like, I don't know, 15 years. And then I had a strong depression. I was living my life in a really, really, in a way that it made me really sad. And I didn't know why I was sad, because I had everything that the society tells you in order to be happy. So I was very famous, one of the probably top 3 personalities in Romania. Then I was making so much money that I could do anything that I wanted in my country. And then I was healthy. I mean, I thought I was healthy. I was in a relationship that everybody was like, oh my God, that's so nice. Both of you are
like a famous singer.
Yeah, he was also famous, and they were like both looking so nice. They're like, we're a power couple. We're so good looking together. And the rebellious one and the ladylike one.
Beauty.
Yeah. And then I could do anything. Like I could travel. I was living in a very beautiful house, driving a very nice house, going in like the best places. So like having amazing friends, and like what else?
Buying everything that you want.
Buying everything anytime, like anything that you wanted. So like what
travel
else?
wherever you want.
Exactly. What else do you want? I mean, and every time I was saying like, I'm sad, or like, oh, I'm feeling bad, or like, you're spoiled. Come on. I mean, like, you can't, it's not possible not to be happy with everything that you have.
Why you complain?
Why are you complaining so much? I mean, this is crazy. So I thought there is something wrong with me, because everybody says if you have those, you have to be happy. And I wasn't, and I didn't know what was going on. So because it was very difficult for me to show that, because I was always getting, you're spoiled. What are you complaining about? You shouldn't feel this way. You shouldn't be like that. You shouldn't. I was like, yeah, maybe something wrong with me, so I have to hide this. And I started to hide it. And this is how I lived my life for many years, going in places showing absolute.
This we have to leave it. I don't want to cut it. So plant behind Andreea, a very nice decoration just fell. But it's okay. I love it. I love it. The perfection. You see, this is the sign. I hope it's not broken. No.
Oh, it's a lot of mess. I put it there in order to look nice for the camera, but it felt a bit shaky. Yeah. Okay.
Do you want to take a time or you're fine?
No,
I love to keep it because this is another beautiful part of it. I try to not cut it.
It's so funny because we were talking about perfection, then this happens.
All the time it's happened like that.
So, what I was
You are in that moment when you felt really depressed and you basically, nobody understood you. Or it was someone who really could understand you, like could really see behind all these lenses.
Yeah.
I had someone.
I had friends, and one very good friend who was really close to me all the time. And actually, I forgot to mention that the relationship that I had wasn't like the best relationship. It was very nice from outside, but actually it was a toxic relationship. And it was, now we talk, and me and my friend, and she's like, do you remember when we were talking every night on the phone, imagining that this is never gonna end? Because I thought that was never going to end. Because what I was doing, I was going to events, I was going looking perfect, doing perfect, and then I was coming home feeling completely overwhelmed and sad. And I was closing the door behind me in a beautiful house that made me feel so lonely and so sad. So she was one of the people who were very close to me, and I'm so grateful for her existence in my life, because I felt she understood me. Because I think this is the problem with people who are suffering from depression, because in the end, this is what I had, depression. Their feelings are not validated. People are telling you, no, you don't feel this way. This is not happening. So it's like nobody hears you, nobody understands you, nobody sees you, nobody really wants to see what's going on in yourself, with yourself. So for me, that was very important to have support. And I live my life like this many, many years, and imagine which was the gap between what I was feeling and what I was doing, because I had to go to events, I had to go to charity galas to host them, and I had to go to photo sessions and to TV shows to host. And inside, I was feeling that everything was falling apart, and outside, I had to be like, it's funny because after I saw a picture before India and after India, a difference of like, I don't know, 5 years, and the picture before looked like I was older, 10 years older than the one.
Wow. Because
I held so much sadness, anger, frustration. So I was living my life like that. And I was crying every night. And I remember that one night I was in my bed crying, I think exhausted. And I heard a voice saying that your life is the biggest gift that you received, and you need to take care of it. Even now when I talk about it, like I get goosebumps.
But there were moments when you're thinking to not continue.
Yeah. Wow. Because the pain was so big. It was so painful, and I just wanted to do something to stop that pain. I just couldn't handle the pain anymore. It was so much pain, really so much pain. And crying every night, it was, I told you, it was a moment when I just couldn't cry anymore, because there were no more tears. So I was trying to do things to not feel that void inside of me, because that was the thing. It was a void inside of me. And I was trying to, traveling a lot, shopping a lot. I was a compulsive shopper. being with people all the time. I didn't want to be by myself. Sometimes I wanted to be by myself, but sometimes I didn't want to be by myself because I couldn't be alone. I just couldn't stay alone in the house because all the emotions would come, and that would have been really overwhelming for me. So for me, being alone was the worst thing in the whole world. I just couldn't stand my company. I didn't know that at that time, but then I'm like I just couldn't stand my company. It was too much for me. And when I heard that voice in the middle of the night saying that you have to take care of that gift, I don't know, something really happened inside of me, and everything was, I don't know, like a silence and like an inner peace, like surrendering somehow. And I think that was the moment. It was subconscious. I mean, I don't think I did something for that. When I said, I really have to take care of that. And how do I do it? And the moment you open up, you start receiving answers, and people come into your life, and you have the ability to see them and to hear them and to feel them. And it's funny because a lot of informations came to me that probably if they would have came before, I wouldn't have seen them. So I remember a friend of mine told me about a book that someone wrote from an ashram. And she told me, let's go to the book fair because she's going to launch the book tomorrow. And I was in a shooting and I couldn't go, but I got the book. I read it like in a second. It was like,
How was it? What's the name? What's the title?
The name was Namaste. And it was written by a guy who used to work in advertising, that he felt lost, couldn't find answers. And first he went to Athos, to Greece, to the mountain. And then, but he couldn't find the answers there. So he tried to search somewhere else. And he said one time he went to a library, to a bookshop, and he saw a book about meditation. And he felt very connected to what was written there. And he said, I want to go and discover this. And then he started to do a journey. He started a journey into meditation. And I took the book, I read it, and I called him. I was like, hey, I want to meet you. And we met, and we stayed for 3 hours, and he told me everything about his journey, because the book was like a confession about what he had experienced. And it was so lovely. And I was so fascinated, and I felt so much energy. I felt different after so long. I felt good with myself. And I decided I wanted to go to India. And
but why India? Why India? Why not? I mean, there are some other spiritual places. Why India?
I don't know. I was always felt drawn to India, and nobody wanted to come with me because it's like dirty and stuff. Blah, blah, blah. And nobody wanted to go, and I really wanted to go. And I said, okay, I'm gonna go with the friend that she told me about the book. And he said, no, you have to go by yourself, because it's your journey and you have to do it on your own. Because if you're gonna go with your friend there, and maybe she wants to go dinner and you don't want to go to dinner, you will feel that you have to go with her. Maybe you don't want her to get upset, or you have to go by yourself because you're gonna bring all your conditionings with you there. So you have to go there to be free and to learn things about you, to have the time in order to know you, to discover you. And he said, it's not going to be an easy trip, because imagine a house that you've been living in for 35 years, because this is the age I had when I went to India, and you've never cleaned it like a general cleaning. You're going to go in places that you don't want to go, and you're going to find things that they're really is like things, they're going to find a lot of dirt, but like really big dirt. And you have to go there and look at them and just clean everything. And for me, that was strong, but like, yeah, how strong? I mean, like, really, how can be? Yeah, I mean, like, really. I went there. I went to the.
Was it the first time when you?
Yeah, the first time. Yeah.
Really? So you didn't really know anything?
Oh, I just took a plane ticket and I went there. And my friends are like, "Where are you gonna go?" I mean, like, my mother was a bit shocked because I said, "I'm gonna go." We're like, "Where are you gonna go with?" I just go by myself. Where are you gonna go? He's like, "I don't know. I'm just gonna go to a place that I've heard about." How long are you gonna stay? I don't know. I just got a ticket for 2 weeks, and I stayed 2 weeks, and then I prolong it for a month because that was the time that I could stay there because I couldn't get a longer visa. And everybody was really scared. I mean, like, she's not coming back. She's like, she went in a sect or something. What is she doing? So I went there, and it was amazing. I mean, it was amazing because I felt freedom for the first time. Freedom of being who I am without all the things that I was identifying. I was wearing a robe, not having my watch, so nobody would know if I'm like, I am someone through my watch or...
So no expensive clothes, no makeup.
No makeup, like some like sleepers and nothing. No phone, nothing. It's like with my hands in my pockets, with just the idea, the path that you could go through in the ashram. And it was like, what is this? I've never experienced something like this. And I started to go to courses, to meditation center courses. And I went to a course because, as you know, I'm like, well, if I start doing something, I go all the way. I went to a course called Primal Rebirth, which was a course that everybody was running away from because you're going to be in silence and isolation, and you're not going to talk. And the facilitator, she's a bitch.
For how long?
I heard silence. Only 5 days, but
but still,
for me, that I was sharing all my thoughts and I was talking a lot. I was so scared to go there because, you know, this course is about the first 7 years in your life, where you create all the conditionings, you create all the patterns, and you create your personality, which it's covering your essence. You've been told what you have to be. So what is happening there? You just go through the age from 7 to 0, and you deconstruct everything, and then you find who you are. You realize what your mom said, what your father said, what your caregivers told you to be in school, and everything you think you are.
It's actually a very interesting thing because when I start, sorry to interrupt you, but when I start to prepare for the interview, I was like, what? I was like kind of asking the universe to give me different directions. And I took a book that I didn't know who gave it to me. And it's actually the 4 rules exactly about that. What is the name? It's a really tiny book, and it speaks exactly about that. How important it is to the 4 important rules that you have to start by yourself. I will make sure to tag it afterwards, and you give it to me. It's exactly about that, and I will make sure to give it because this was my beginning with your help to really pay attention of that. You know, like how many things actually we do and how many things
I know. I think I know. It's
the 4.
I know.
It's a very famous one because I saw it visually in so many books.
I know. It's Don Miguel Ruiz or something like that.
Yes. Anyway, I will tag it afterwards.
Yeah, I know.
It's so funny that you mentioned that because that could be an interesting beginning for so many that they want to go into that, to just start doing that. It's a good book. Thank you for giving it to me.
You're very welcome. So I was in this workshop for 5 days, which was like they were like the worst days of my life, because before that you have to go through a very intense interview because they want to make sure you're emotionally stable, because traumas you hide, like strong memories you hide because they were so strong, because they were traumas, and you just couldn't have the resources at that time to deal with them. So you encapsulated them. They're in your body. They're in your system. So you can have the surprise of finding something that is overwhelming for you. there are so many people saying like, I don't have any memories from my childhood. It's because probably it was they were very painful, and you just didn't want to see them. You didn't want to have anything in contact with them. So in these 5 days, you don't sleep much. You have a lot of inquiries, a lot of exposure. You have a lot of, you write a lot. You write a lot. And you write with a non-dominant hand a lot. Really, because to the right-handed, the non-dominant hand, which is the left one, it's the one related to the side of the brain that is more emotional, and it's not the structured one, the rational one. So you can write without rationalizing it. And I found out some truth about myself and about things. For example, because there is a day that I ask you to paint something, and with the right hand, and I was like, I'm such a bad
your dominant.
with your, I'm so bad at that. I'm not gonna write because I'm not gonna draw. It's stupid. I was very resistant, really resistant. I was fighting the facilitator all the time, and she said, "You have to draw. It's important for you to draw." And I said, "No, I don't want to draw." And then in the end, I drew. It was something really bad, and then they asked us to draw with the left hand. And I said, really? Are you making fun of me? My drawing with the right hand was really bad. Of course, with the left hand, it's going to be terrible. I said, please do that. Angry, I started writing it and drawing it. And I had such a surprise to see that my drawing was like really nice. And I was like shocked. What do you mean it's nice? It's not possible. Because the mind didn't tell to this part that I cannot draw. So I could do it in a very nice way. And coming back to this, in this workshop, you discover so much about yourself, about what your parents gave you, which is not yours and doesn't serve you. Because we reached a moment in our life that all the things that we got from our parents, which helped us to survive, they were like survival mechanisms and survival tools in order for us to go in the world. But now we don't need them anymore. So we have to let them go. We don't have to punish our parents. We don't have to punish ourselves for being like that. It's just they served us. We have to be grateful, and then we have to let them go in order to live our life according to who we are as adults right now, not wounded children. So those 5 days were like really like an emotional freedom, because I let go of so many conditionings like perfectionism, fear of making mistakes, fear of being criticized, fear of not knowing, fear of not being good enough. It was something amazing. It was really difficult, but it's something that gave me freedom. So when I came home, I felt as free as, like, I've never felt that free, never in my whole life. And I remember I came home, I was like so shiny, and so my face was so relaxed. And because also I forgot to mention, there are a lot of catharsis, where you release a lot of anger and a lot of frustration, everything that you were holding, everything that was not allowed to be experienced in your house when you're a child, and then you embodied, and also you're doing right now. So I remember I met one of my very good photographers, Alex, Alex Ilveno. And
we know.
We used to work a lot. And then he's very proper, and he's very nice. He doesn't want to offend you in any way with any question that he would consider it's not appropriate. And he comes, I was launching a book at that time, and we're doing a photo session, and he comes to me, I was like, oh my God, I don't know, like, what did you do to your face? Like,
what surgery
did you do? But it's amazing. You look amazing. And I was like, no, I didn't do any surgery. No, but it's like a change. I've never seen you so beautiful. And so I was like, no. What happened was all my face, all my life all of the muscles were so contracted to make sure that nobody sees what's inside. And all the anger and sadness and everything was in my face, in my muscles, was somehow, was living there. And when I released through the anger, through the catharsis, my face muscle relaxed. So I could realize my face looks so relaxed. And when people are saying your face, your expression shows exactly what's inside, it's so real, because our inner reflects so much our outer in everything that we do.
You know that it's actually a science, and very old science in China, that you can really read the face of a person based on that, based on how you look in that moment, and obviously can change. Very interesting. I did it, and it's crazy how much you can learn about yourself in this moment, in how you look now.
Yeah.
True.
So that was my first experience. This is where my journey started many, many years ago. That was actually. This year, going to be 9 years.
Yeah, I was thinking that next year you have to do something big, because 10 years definitely has to be something. Anyway, another discussion, we have to talk about it. We really have, to do something.
Yeah, bro, because that was when I was reborn, because my life is before India and after India. And then it's so funny, because one of the things that I was asked in the interview before going to the workshop, the lady asked me, why do you want to come to this workshop? I don't remember exactly what I said, but one of the things I wanted to have is I want to be happy. And she was like, what makes you think that if you're going to come to this workshop, you're going to be happy? Maybe you're going to discover things that you don't like about your life. Maybe the choices that you made, maybe the things that you have in your life. Maybe you're going to realize that you make those choices not influenced by who you are, influenced by other people or by the society. And I was like, no, maybe you're not going to like your job. And I was like, what do you mean? My life is my job. I mean, it's I'm so good at that and I love it. Funny enough, after 2 years, I resigned from television.
But what was the reason there? Because I want to ask you before we go further, you went very fast from the television experience, but knowing you in front of the camera, you are really like a fish in the ocean. You are shy, and you went very fast into that. It's something there that you love.
Yes, I love, and even now when I'm in front of the camera, I feel like I hosted a few months ago. I invited me to host a show, and it was I loved it. Really, I love it, and I love the camera.
You can see that. You really can see that.
I wasn't happy with what I was doing, so I could say, no, this is not right for me, and that was amazing, because I was so identified with my status, and going out of the television and saying who you are, don't work in television. Well, who are you? No, actually, I don't do that. But who are you? And when I said I'm going to resign, everybody was like, are you insane? You're a celebrity. And I was like, yeah, but that doesn't make me happy. I mean, I don't do something that I want, because the shows and television went into the reality part, which I didn't resonate so much. And I wanted to do something meaningful for people. I wanted to do something that can bring value, not just to be on TV for the sake of being on TV. I just wanted to bring my input in that, and really to bring value in people's life, and to have something that is really related to me. So this is the reason I decided to stop doing television at that time.
And this is the status, but as well, it's a risk. It's a financial risk. Because probably a really big salary that you don't really count on it.
Yeah.
So you really, because many of us, we don't want to do big steps, because one of the reasons is what I'm doing with the money, what's happening now with me, how I will survive. You just did it.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't that easy, because suddenly from there, your income goes like this, but I gained something that is not measurable, and money couldn't buy. It's my inner peace, my inner happiness, and real connection with the things that I had, the things that I was doing, with my activities, with the people that made me really happy. So money couldn't buy that. And I felt more happy and more connected and more in truth with myself than when I was having tons of money. And I started a little business, and nobody believed in it because it was about personal development and healthy lifestyle and meditation. And before that, I have to mention, for me, meditation was something that was making fun all the time. I never believed in meditation many years ago. I always made fun of people who were saying that. For me, it was like, yeah, meditation. What do you mean, mathematics or English or energy? What do you mean? I mean, like, this is for like hippie people. It's not for me. Like, come on, give me a break, you know? So it's funny because I'm like very mental, very rational. So I need to understand. You can't understand meditation. I mean, like, you just have to feel it in order to experience it, in order to realize. And that convinced me. And I started this little website, and everybody was like, yeah, right. And actually right now is one of the most popular, it's like the most popular website for personal development and mental. And we developed so many products around that, and
amazing.
We're kind of benchmark here about that. And
how many people do you have? Like, give us some informations, like a traffic, because I know that you know everything. I know that you are really but I could really see your journey, how much you learned in the last period, and you were not afraid of it to do that.
As I was saying before, if I decide to do something, I go all the way. I mean, nothing can stop me. And what I need from time to time, I need a push. And life gave me a lot of pushes. When I'm afraid to do something, life comes and say, go. Because sometimes I'm afraid to jump. And what I've learned and what is important right now is that even if I'm in the storm and everything is falling apart, because it did fall apart 3 years ago and I lost everything. And I started the business by myself because I had a partner in the previous one. I was in the middle of the storm and I had the awareness of saying, I know this is falling apart, but this is for the best. And it was, because I could really learn so much and become more confident and have the trust that I can run a business by myself. And that taught me a lot. Wasn't easy, but it was really, really good for myself, because I was afraid to do that step, to do it by myself. And life helped me. So I'm really grateful for that. Coming back to numbers, for this kind of, because it's a niche, it's a very small niche.
It's a niche, especially in Romania. It's niche, but still you change a lot of people with what you're doing.
Yeah, we have.
So when I spoke with some,
we have actually they change. Everybody changes their life. We all need the support,
but you are a good guider. You guide them.
I was gifted with that, and I'm so grateful for just to be there where somebody needs it. And it's not me. It's something from something more powerful than me. We have over 1 million users every month, and
amazing.
And yeah, people who are really interested in that.
And I know we mentioned these kind of numbers are not important, but in this topic, how you started from the beginning and what you built, it's something that has to be celebrated, and you are really like an inspiration for that. This is why I wanted to speak about it. You were like everything in a way. Yes, it was that terrible pain that you mentioned, but it was another terrible moment after you came back from India. And you can be open as much as you want about that. You tell me, but actually I was there and I saw you when you start the business you mentioned, and then you
8 years.
8 years ago, right?
And then the business I started, 11 years ago, I think. 11 years ago. Right, yeah.
And then
I started in parallel before going to India, like really small, parallel with television. And then after 1 year, after I came from India, or 1 or 2 years, I don't even remember. I know what you're referring to.
Like, I think 3 or 4 years ago,
3.
I just received a picture with you you sent me a picture that you were at the hospital, or you did some, you were not feeling well. And luckily I was there. I was in Romania.
Yeah. Yeah. 2 years ago, I was in this, what I was mentioning before. So I had the business 8 years with someone, with a partner, was growing. But life, sometimes life doesn't make things as you want, or as you want. And we were not getting along anymore. We had different values, different visions for the business, and sometimes you don't find the easy way, or the common way, or the common ground. And we had to split, and we split in a really, really bad way. Actually, I remember it was Easter, and I was so desperate because I didn't know what to do. I mean, like, I felt like I didn't know anything, because I was always in charge of the creative part, marketing, creating all the products for the business. I wasn't into the business part, and I was not even interested in that, because I'm like the creative part. And coming after 20 years of television, business was something that it was like rocket science, So we were not getting along, and everybody told me, like, just take your name and part of the business and do it by yourself. And I was like, no, this is out of the question. I cannot do that. I mean, like, I have no knowledge. I don't know how to do it. I mean, like, I need somebody to be there. No,
and you trust in that person too. You really have big respect to that person. I remember how beautiful you're speaking.
Yeah. And I said, maybe it's not fair. Even if I felt it wasn't fair, but what was happening, but I didn't want to hurt that person. So I remember it was before Easter, exactly before Easter, I was going to a facial, and I was so calm. And it was like, I was like, everything is falling apart. How am I so calm? I mean, how is it possible? And I had this thought, it's calm because you're going to die. What do you mean I'm going to die? Anyway, I left.
But everything falling apart in what way? Because we didn't mention. We just mentioned that it was a business partner, but what was falling apart?
When it's hate, and when it's not, I don't want to really go into that very much, but the problem is, like, we're almost destroying the business that we created. And it was a lot of struggle there. So practical, we didn't know how to reach a conclusion, to end it somehow. Mm-hmm. So I came home. I went to one of my very good friends' birthday, and I came home because I was not feeling well. And when I was on the couch, I wanted to go to stand up, and I couldn't stand up anymore. I just couldn't walk. And for me, my body and my health are like the most important. I mean, like, no matter what happens, I have my health. And I freaked out because I didn't know what to do. And people came and took me to the hospital, and we did like all the tests, and like every brain scan, body scan, blood test, like everything. And everything was normal. Everything was normal. So that was very shocking, because nobody knew what to do. So the business was falling apart. The friendship was falling apart. He wanted to take my name, even though it was my name. When you get into those fights, bad things are happening. And I didn't have anything anymore, like nothing. And also the financial part was not really okay, because also there were also some things related to that in the business. And I didn't know what to do. I felt like really life was ending, And what was really funny was that I could move my legs to one side and to the other side, but I couldn't straighten them. I had no control on straightening them. I never thought of that. And then I started searching for, like, I don't know, all these people that could help me with energies, and nobody told me anything, which was that I was like, I can't help you. And I went out of Bucharest to a clinic and stayed there for a while. And I was talking to a friend of mine. She said, like, you need to do something about it. I mean, I was only crying. I just couldn't stand up. I was only crying. I couldn't see any light. My previous my business partner closed part of the business, and I realized that I was owning the name of the website because it was my name. And I said, okay, the only thing that you can do, she said, the only thing you can do, you have to start all over again, close everything, you kill your baby and you make another one. And for me, that was my baby. I couldn't kill him. And the moment I decided that I have to start a new baby, how do I say that?
Yeah.
It was amazing. I could walk. So I closed everything. And the moment I decided and I did it, because I decided and I did it, I started walking. Which was absolutely shocking. And what I understood is that my body was telling me, you can't go further. You can't go straight. It's over. There is no more road there. You have to go on the right or on the left. And I did. And I started everything by myself.
So you went right or left?
Everybody keeps asking me this.
Right. Yeah, because in a way, it's already a very beautiful way that you couldn't go straight,
Yeah.
So left and right could be another way of another metaphor or message for you.
So probably if I'm thinking right now, what you're asking me, probably right was to continue the business by myself, or left to go back in television. Mm-hmm. Now I'm thinking about it. Mm-hmm. And I chose right. Yeah, I never thought about it, but now I did. I thought I chose right, and I started the business from scratch. And in 2 months, I managed to create a new office, a new team, new products, new website, new everything. Was completely insane.
And you learned so many things, even the financial. I remember we had a discussion together. I said, Crina, how you do this P&L? I don't understand it. Now you are the master of the P&L. Like but it's...
I know.
Yeah, you have to take it. It's true. You know everything what is happening in your company. You decide everything. Yeah, but before it was...
Yeah, now it's the normal thing. Then it wasn't the normal thing. You can't have a company with your name without knowing it.
Yeah.
But coming from television and a life when you're always have been spoiled, and everybody always did something for you and always like taken care. You're always been taken care of, and like, oh, what do you need? Or like, yeah, why do you have to bother?
Why? And you take everything. And I remember at the beginning of this new journey, you were even bringing samples from left to right. You were like, you really didn't care. You were there and doing everything from the owner, CEO, financial director, PR, but as well the whole logistic parts. We are sometimes driving together, dropping some samples, and not so many people have this power of really doing all these things, especially Andreea Raicu in Romania, which, paparazzi are on the corner. You just did it. You didn't care. You just did it.
No, because first of all, it was my baby and I wanted to take care of him in the best possible way. And second, I had to know it all, because I can't ask you something that I don't know what I'm talking about, because you can tell me anything. So now I know, and now I'm in control, and now I know how things can handle. And to be very honest, I was talking the other day about some topics that we're going to talk about for YouTube. And we're talking about forgiveness. And I said, you know what? The people that put me down, or the experiences that I had with people that really be like so low, so down, they're the people that I'm really grateful for. And a girl from my office is like, what do you mean? It's like, because they're the reason I grew up. They're the reason I evolved. They're the reason. And she's like, but did you forgive them? And I said, yes.
That was the question I wanted to ask.
Yeah, I did. And not easy at all. I mean, I had to do a lot of catharsis to get out all the anger that I had inside of me, because there was so much anger. You have no idea. Now we're telling like the nice story after it finished, but it was really, really complicated. And she said like, but even if you don't want to forgive people, she's like, I don't want to forgive people who hurt me. And I said, it's not their problem, it's your problem. Because as long as you're not going to forgive, you're going to carry that burden with you all your life, and you're not going to have the freedom to live your life as you want. You're always going to have them behind you telling you what to do and influencing your life and your decisions. So the best thing that somebody can do in this kind of situation, first you have to acknowledge the damages and to feel the emotions, because it comes with a lot of emotions. You can't say like, oh no, yeah, we broke up, but I'm fine. Oh, I'm fine. No, I don't get angry. I mean, like, I forgot them. I forgive them. I'm like a spiritual and I'm nice. I mean, like, I'm always focusing on the positive side. And like, no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to say this is bullshit. Sorry. But it's like, first you have to acknowledge, accept, and stay with the emotions and release the emotions. Because when somebody, for this, it's like, I had two things that were attacked. Like, it was my right to be there and to have my how do you say it? To express myself in that business, and I couldn't do it. So it was my right of being who you are was denied, and that comes with a lot of anger. And the loss comes with sadness. And most of the time we say, no, I don't feel the sadness. Of course, because we don't let ourselves feel the sadness, because it's really painful and maybe it reminds us of something, and we cover it with a lot of anger. But the anger is just at the surface and covers the sadness. And also there are many people saying that they're never angry. They're never angry because maybe when they're real small, anger was not allowed in their family, and there was no place in order for them to express their anger. Bro, they were told like, go to your room until you're going to be okay. And they learned that if they want to be loved and liked, they don't have to be angry, and they repress that emotion. But we have all the emotions, anger, sadness, all of them, it's inside of us. And in order to have this inner peace and to get out of that struggle, we need to understand it's important to experience the emotions, because otherwise it's going to be that turmoil inside of me.
Very beautiful said. Now I want to speak a little bit about what you create. You create a very beautiful universe around you, and you healed so many people in this.
No, I didn't heal anyone. They heal themselves.
Yeah, but it's a journey. It's a journey. And really, I had discussions when I'm coming to Romania. I just meet people, different places, and they don't know that we are friends actually. And they tell me like, I have really big struggles in my life, and I'm thinking, I know what I do. I want to do this class with Andreea Raicu. I want to do. I sometimes I think I mentioned it. I was like, yes,
Yeah,
I do it. You only do it, and I think you have to embrace that. Like you said, it's something that is coming from the universe to you, but you guide and you help. And even with the story that you open and you are vulnerable and you share it, it's already such a beautiful healing for so many that maybe they are in similar situation like you are. And you are really like an open book. Like, yeah, it's just beautiful to see that. Sometimes I have to say that I forget that you are the Andreea Raicu in Romania. And I remember sometimes we were going to, to groceries together, and we buy all these favorite cosmetics. And I look around, there are all these people, they are shocked, like you are like you don't care about if people are looking at you. Somehow, I don't know how you deal. Actually, this is going through my next question. How do you see that, now Andreea Raicu, the public person, and Andreea Raicu, the friend or the human being person? Where is the difference?
There is no more difference. There is no more difference. I mean, it was a big difference, and there is no more difference right now, because who I am right now I'm also outside. And I remember something after India, I was invited to give a TEDx talk. And in that TEDx, I talked about my perfect life. And then I said, actually, I was living a lie. My life was a lie that I've been telling to myself for so many years, and also to you and to myself. And actually, it was a lie. And everybody was shocked. I was like, what? First of all, because like, what do you mean? Wait, you had the perfect life. No, actually, I didn't. And second, they were like, how was it for you to share those things? It might have been very difficult. And I said, you know what? Actually, that wasn't difficult. What was difficult was for me to accept that. To accept that I was living a lie. My life was a lie. And the moment you accept things, then there is no more problem, because it's about you and your process. The moment I'm okay with something, I don't care if you're okay or not, because I'm the only person, probably the most important person, that I have to make peace with. Because if I don't make peace with, you can accept me and you can do all those things, but inside of me, it's always going to be a struggle and an inner thunderstorm. So
yeah, and I want to say that I think it's even our culture in Romania, somehow, because if you go to other countries, people are more open to share. But in our country, I really see when I'm going there, like everybody, like especially most of the girls, they try to really be very serious and really try to pretend that they are some others. And if you express who you are, like if you say, yeah, I'm shit today, or somehow we create these boundaries. Yeah. Yes, it's really like, so for them was even a bigger shock to see Andreea Raicu doing that. So it was even double for some of them, And
then I started talking about my fears, and then I started sharing about what I was feeling, and everybody was like, oh my God. And everybody was like coming to, I was like, everybody was attracted by my energy and by everything that I was doing, because I started talking about all the reason I was ashamed of. I was ashamed of my body. I was ashamed about I'm not being good enough, not being smart enough, beautiful enough, because I was raised by a father who always humiliated me. Like, you're not good enough. Nothing is gonna happen to you. You worth nothing. You're never gonna do something in your life.
But you did it just to recognize, but you love your parents.
Oh, yeah.
How beautiful connection you have with your mom. I think it's important to mention that.
Yeah.
It's just your journey, but the relationship you have with your mom,
yes,
it's unique.
They could. I mean, they had their own things that I had to work on and imbalances. So I love them very much. My father is not with us anymore, but my mom is great, and we have an amazing relationship. And we have it much better after we could talk about anything, because she was so wise. She's so wise and so emotional mature, that she could really hold me in everything that I was experiencing, and telling, like, because my mom was a flight attendant and she was always away. So my wound of abandonment was huge. So I could talk to her about that, and I could talk about the perfectionism. And at the beginning, she felt a bit somehow like I'm attacking her, but she understood that it wasn't that. I just needed to tell her how I feel, and it was amazing that we could talk, and we can talk about that.
And it says a lot about your mom too.
Yes, she's amazing, and I'm so grateful to
she's amazing
like this. And when I start talking in podcasts, interviews, YouTube channels, and everywhere about abandonment, about rejection pain, about criticism pain, about all these things, about fear of rejection, about fear of not being good enough, being not worthy, everybody was like, oh my God, you're talking about me. Because I'm not special at all. I have more or less the same issues and problems that everybody has. Everybody's suffering from. I'm reading this book right now that I love. It's called, I'm trying to see if it's here. No, it's not. It's called Hold Me Tight. And I think it's Dr. Sue Johnson.
I will make sure to tag them.
Yeah, it's a book that everybody should read if you have abandonment issues. So yeah, and it makes me really happy that I can show people that there is nothing wrong with them, because when you have a problem, you think it's only about yourself. It's only you that you have that thing, and that makes you feel very ashamed. That makes you feel that you want wrong with you, exactly, and you want to hide. You want to isolate yourself, and if you are in depression and you isolate yourself, it's worse than. That's the moment when you need support. You need to show yourself, but you need to find the right people that can help you with that. So I'm giving them the trust that they can open up to other people, and that's okay. That's okay to feel bad. It's okay to feel unworthy. It's okay to have a bad day. It's okay to feel sad. It's to have to react sometimes. It's okay to have a lot of issues, and not to blame others for what you're feeling.
And sharing your story all the time, you heal all the time yourself, but as well, so many others that they, like you said, they recognize in that story. So your healing journey, it's continue probably on each of your sharing, each of all the time, probably it's even more and more. I mean, of course, now you develop a lot and you learn a lot, but I think that it's a continuously healing journey. We have to move to your what you're doing now. So what did you create? You create a beautiful community. Tell us now what you're doing.
Yeah, I created a community, and unfortunately, for the moment, it's only in Romanian. But the plan is to also
change that. I hope so. Very soon.
Change that. And it's a community where people really want to live through their values, and have to empower women in order to live through their values, and to have the courage to live their truth, to discover themselves, and then to have the courage to live what they have discovered, to live through their values. And we have the website, and then we have a lot of products like cards, journals, gratitude journal. We're working right now on an emotion journal, where you learn about your emotion, and you learn how to accept them and to release them. It's a whole process. That it's a journal that we've been working on with a psychotherapist. And then we have like our famous agenda that we've been doing for the 7 years. It's like 6 years, sorry. It's an agenda and a diary that helps you live with awareness. And that came, the idea, in a meditation. I remember everybody was making so much fun of me when I said I'm going to do that. And now it's very popular, selling. Yeah. We have online courses, guided meditations, webinars that we do. What do we do? I have a clothes line collection. It's with t-shirts and sweatshirts with sustainable made, and with messages that bring you the awareness
that you deliver. You can order it. I mean, anyway, if someone is joining your website, for sure they can translate it in English, so they can already be in English. So they can. You have international. I think most of it, no?
But you know which one is the bestseller?
I think I know.
I am enough. Exactly. It's the bestseller. It's the bestseller. Yeah,
it's so you.
Yeah,
that's why, and so many others actually. So many others. Yeah,
we all want to feel enough. Good enough, smart enough, funny enough, skinny enough. We want to feel enough.
Yeah.
And what else do we do? Like,
you do something really funny, in my point of view, for Romanian people, because they know you. You do one-to-one coaching.
Yeah, I do one-to-one coaching.
Which I think is so cool. So you can, anytime, just have a coach, because you became a coach.
Yeah.
This is something that we have to mention. And you have one-to-one sessions.
Yeah, and it's so funny because I always make them a little bit longer, because the first 5 minutes is like, oh, I'm so nervous. They're so hug them. And I just need to calm them down, to bring them here and just be able to connect. What else do? And last year on the pandemic, we launched homeware and loungewear with homeware feminine collection, starting from the idea that women, when they're in their homes, in Romania, I don't know about somewhere else, used to wear things that they don't wear anymore, they don't like anymore, like used clothes. And I said, like, you, in order to love yourself, you need to respect yourself and wear nice things that make you feel nice, sexy. But first for yourself, like wear things that make you feel good, wear things that make you feel beautiful, make you feel like you take care of yourself wearing nice things, not use things and things that they don't look nice anymore and they're like damaged. And we launched this collection last year, and it's going really well because women resonated with that, because women want to feel feminine in a society where we're all thin. As I don't know, this is a TV series since I was a little girl. We're like so masculine. When we come home, we tend to do the same thing, and our partners want us to be feminine, not to kill them the moment we get in the house. Act them like entrepreneurs when we're home. So yeah, this is another thing.
And you told me about a surprise. You said that you have something else that you want to share in the podcast. You work for some project.
I do.
You told me. I don't say anything. I tell in the podcast, so I don't know anything.
No.
No.
Really?
You work on some project.
Yeah, I do.
You cannot mention it now because I know that you want to.
I want to make it like we have many projects that we're working. I don't know. It's like a fountain of inspiration in the last few months. Working on a lot. As you know, I launched a book called Discovering Yourself, which is also in Romanian, hopefully soon in English.
And a cooking book that I love too.
Yeah. And we're also making another journal about discovering yourself, like the practical part. And 3 more projects that I don't want to talk about because it's not that I'm superstitious, but I just want to bring all the energy until they're over, and then I can talk about them.
Yeah, I hope that we can continue anyway this discussion for what is next.
Anytime we can, Crina. And yeah, it's when we're at the end, I want to say something.
We are actually more. I didn't even realize. We should really make it an hour and we are longer. This is what is happening when 2 friends meet and we start to speak. And definitely we didn't cover so many things. I will let you to say what you want to say. But before that, I want to ask you, I have so many questions. So definitely we have to see how we will do it to the episode. And to keep up posted us with all the information, especially because big part of the followers are from US or from part of Europe. So I'm sure that they will continue following and they would love to know more about it. My last question for you, Andreea, will be, if someone is in this healing journey, they just started now, what will be your advice and even kind of a toolbox that you will give to them?
The first thing that comes into my mind is like, have trust. Really have trust, because it can be really scary. The journey is not easy, but have trust and faith, because if you're there, it means you're in the right way for you. I even made it 2 in one moment when I was like shaking. It's like, existence never makes mistakes. Trust, let go, existence never makes mistakes.
You have a tattoo with that too.
Yeah, exactly. So just trust. And sometimes, because we're control freak, sometimes you just have to go with your eyes closed, trusting that you're in the right direction, and follow your heart and pray and ask, and existence is going to bring what you need. Just be open. You really need to be open, because if you're closed like this, nothing it's gonna enter. But if you're open, of course you can be hurt. Yes, if you open your arms and you're in a vulnerable position, you can be hurt. But you know what? Everything good and love and everything can come in. If you have your arms closed, it can't. And ask for support and be open, really be open, and try and be courageous, because nothing can happen. You're in the hands of the universe, in the hands of God, and nothing can happen. Everything is going to be for the best. So this is what I would suggest to somebody. And experience is not only experience, because reading without experiencing, for me, it's not enough.
You experience so much. I remember so many.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. As I said, I go all the way.
But gives power seeing you, like with all these challenges that you just accept them, you embrace them, and you turn them in your favor.
For me, in my head, there is no other choice. There is no other option, because if I do not accept them, it's going to be a inner struggle all the time. And I don't have time for that. I have other things to do.
Thank you, Andreea. You said that you want to mention something.
Yes, thank you so much, Crina. And I'm going to say something that probably people don't know about you. And it's something that you've been doing a business, you've been in business, in a fashion business for so many years, and you've been great at that. And it was a moment when you said like you want to do something else, but for you, it was very difficult to let it go.
You were there for me.
Yes. And I remember when I said, in order to get something new, you need to make space. And you know that. No, I don't know what I'm going to do. Just make space. Have an affair with the unknown, as Osho says. Unknown is very shaky. We don't like the unknown because we don't know what's happening in the unknown. Just make space for that. And look what is happening right now. You made space. You had the courage. One day you woke up and said, like, I have to end that business. And really, it's so amazing to see you like that. You made space and something so beautiful. Like you went to the yoga training and then you started this podcast that is growing every day, and you bring so much to people, and you're becoming better and better every day. And really, I'm watching your Instagram account and it has such a great identity. And it's like, I already know, if I don't even have to look at it to see who is it from, I know it's you. And it's you, it's so you. And I'm so happy that you show yourself, because you have so much light and such an amazing, so much love inside of self. And you need to show it to the world and really bring that inspiration to the world. You are an inspiration to me so many times. Like, we have such a strong connection because there's so much gentleness and softness and compassion, and I love you so much, and I'm so happy and proud.
I love you a lot. I love you a lot, Andreea, and thank you so much. That moment I will share it in one of the episodes when I feel I'm ready to, as me being interviewed. But that moment will not be, was difficult when I decided to close my company, but definitely would be much more difficult if you would not be there. And I remember how you were hugging me and how you were there with me and how you were checking me. And I want to thank you for that. And actually, one of the advice I recommend to find a friend is find a new friend, because I feel that this is having you on my side. This journey was much easy to heal, and I want to thank you too as well. Oh, you are a big inspiration, my dear Andreea.
This is what we have to have around us. Oh,
thank you so much, Andreea, for taking time for me today. It was amazing.
Thank you so much, Crina, for inviting me. It was really lovely to spend time with you in this space.
And that's all for today. I hope this conversation has inspired you to see the person behind the image, and to remember that no matter how difficult moments you may face in life, there is always a light at the end of the tunnel. This is Crina, and you've been listening to the Dream Again podcast. And I have a surprise for you. From now on, you can find all these episodes in the video format on YouTube at Crina Okumus. Don't forget to subscribe to be the first to know when a new episode is live. Thank you for turning in, and until next time, keep dreaming and believing in yourself.